Hello students, today we are going to see different concepts of working capital. Gross working capital. According to gross concept, the term working capital refers to the total of all current assets of the business. So student, here what is gross working capital? So gross working capital is nothing but all total current assets means gross working capital. Net working capital. Net working capital means net current asset, that is excess of. Net working capital means net current asset, that is the excess of current assets over current liabilities. So student, here what is net working capital? So net working capital is nothing but excess of current asset over current liability. So symbolically we can say, when we deduct the current liabilities from the current asset, then we will get the net working capital. Then the next concept is negative working capital. What is negative working capital? Negative working capital means excess of current liabilities over current assets. So student, here we can calculate the negative working capital when we deduct the current liabilities from the current asset, and our result is in negative or in minus form. Then we can say that working capital is a negative working capital. So we can symbolically write the current liabilities minus current asset. Then the next concept is permanent working capital. Permanent working capital. So what is permanent working capital? Permanent working capital refers to minimum amount of investment in current assets required at all time to carry out minimum level of business activities. In other words, it is the amount of working capital which remains in the business permanently in one form or another. It referred to as care current assets by the Heja Committee and Tandon Committee. Then the next concept is variable working capital. Variable working capital. What is variable working capital? Working capital invested in business over and above the fixed working capital would be termed as variable working capital. It represents the short-term capital provided by the trade suppliers in the form of trade credits, advances from the customers for the goods and services to be supplied to them, or short-term borrowings from the banks and financial agencies. The amount of such working capital keeps on fluctuating from time to time. Then the next working capital is balance sheet working capital. What is balance sheet working capital? The working capital ascertained on the basis of the book value of current assets and current liabilities shown in the closing balance sheet of concern is called balance sheet working capital. Then next is cash working capital. Cash working capital. What is cash working capital? The cash working capital refers to the working capital which is available in cash. The sum total of receipt side of cash flow statement represents gross cash working capital. It is determined on the basis of opening balance sheet, closing balance sheet and income statement in between two balance sheets.